What's up, everybody? Cherny here, to give you some fantasy football advice because I know, after Week 7 last week that we're all in a bad way. Some of us are pretty happy, but if you have Jamar Chase like I do, yeah, probably hate your life right now and probably sitting there wondering like, which bum am I gonna have to play off my bench that I didn't think was gonna get in the lineup all year? Well, don't worry, because I'm going to give you some names right now. 3 wide receivers, 3 running backs, and 3 tight ends that I think are must-starts. Also mix in a little bit of, who I think you should sit. The first one for wide receiver that I think is a must-start this week is Brandon Cooks, all right? And the reason I say Brandon Cooks is a must-start this week is because Nico Collins banged up. I don't know if he's going to play. He's questionable right now, and he might be ruled out. And even if he does play, I can see him put him on a snap count. Realistically, he was rookie last year, and he's one of the young wide receivers that they probably don't want to, run into the ground. They want to have him healthy and have him as a piece of the future, whereas Brandon Cooks, probably isn't going to, be involved down the road here when Houston eventually is relevant again. Who knows if they even will be relevant again. But Brandon Cooks, I think that there's 2 things to this. He's going to be getting a lot of targets. He's going to be getting about 10, 12 targets, I think, this game. I think Davis Mills is going to go to him a lot. They're going to be down, most likely, to Tennessee majority of this game and going to have to throw the ball quite a bit. That's the first part, the volume. The second part of this is that this could be like a tryout game for him for a lot of teams that are interested in him. In case anyone hasn't been following kind of like the trade block, there's a couple guys out there, Judy, Claypool, Brandon Cooks are guys that are, thought to be on that trade block. And realistically, the asking price for Judy and Claypool is going to be a lot higher than Cooks, and a lot of these teams that are on the fence, about wanting to go get him, like Green Bay, who doesn't seem to want to help Aaron Rodgers at all. They'd rather just, sign him to a huge contract and then watch him die out there on the field. But I digress, right? They might be on the fence and be like, you know what, let's see what he does. And if he goes out and has a really good game, that could be enough to persuade some people to go out and go and bring Cooks on, like for a contender. So I'm going Cooks, all right, as like a flex or a wide receiver 3 play. All right, I think you can't go wrong there. Next guy, don't hate me, all right? Don't hate me. I know that he's been a bum all year, and he plays for a team that is bottom 3 in the league throwing in as far as passing attempts is concerned. But Darnell Mooney, man, you got to start this guy. Kid's stupid talented. Not to mention, the Bears are going up against the Cowboys, all right? Micah Parsons and that D-line is going to take those running backs to the shadow realm. That you will never hear from them again. Probably won't hear from them until next week. I'm just kidding. But I, on the other hand, have to start Khalil Herbert because everyone's either dead or on a bye week, so I have no choice. But you have a choice. And if your choice is between starting one of those running backs or starting Darnell Mooney, start Darnell Mooney. They're going to be down. They're going to throw the ball a ton, all right? And Darnell Mooney is going to be involved in the passing game and has looked way better as of late. I could see him, taking advantage of that secondary a little bit as well, which is pretty solid. But still, Darnell Mooney must start for me. Final guy, traded for him last week, all right? He's on the up and up. It's George Pickens, all right? The Pickett to Pickens combination is unbelievable. Okay, guys, this guy is, Pickett's favorite target, all right? And the other aspect of it is, too, he's been throwing to these bigger body guys. So, that's why Freiermuth's getting a ton of volume. That's why Pickens has been getting a lot of volume, all right? And Deontay Johnson, while he's been getting volume, just hasn't seen the success. I just think that he's not as comfortable throwing them yet. He wants these bigger body athletic receivers, and Pickens fits that bill to a T. Kid's stupid talented, all right? Good route runner. He can make phenomenal grabs, and I just think that he's a must-start. Going forward here, I think he's going to enter that wide receiver 2 territory. Right now, he's likely going to be a flex or a wide receiver 3 play for you. So, start Pickens. Okay, the running backs now. Running backs. Now, please, I know what I'm talking about, all right? And I know that the Jets are 0-12 against the Pats in their last, 12 outings. You got to start Michael Carter, though. James Robinson, I know they just traded for him. He's going to see some work, but it's not going to be this bell cow role that people probably envision. They're like, oh, well, God, James Robinson to replace Breece Hall. It's like, not replacing Breece Hall. This kid's stupid talent. He was an RB1 slotted for the rest of the year if the kid didn't blow his knee up. I hope he recovers quick because that kid was so much fun to watch. But Michael Carter's the play here. And the reason is because I think he's still going to get 10 touches on the ground, roughly. I don't think that James Robinson's going to come in and just own this backfield on the ground. But the other aspect of it is I could see them going down, really early here to the Cowboys and needing to throw the ball as well. And Zach Wilson, dare I say, he doesn't like to go downfield, or he can't do it without throwing an interception or throwing to the other team. So probably going to be a decent amount of plays drawn up for Michael Carter in this offense, because I think he's going to be their most used weapon going forward here. Like, he's a solid two-way, kind of back, like, dual threat back. And Zach Wilson he's got all the wide receiver talent in the world, can't use it. Corey Davis is also out, so those spillover targets got to go somewhere. And Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore, who knows if that relationship can be mended? Kid asked for a trade. Apparently 5-2 wasn't good enough for him. I don't know. But no, I would play Michael Carter for sure. Another guy that you got to play at your flex or, RB2 if you're really hurting at running back is Brian Robinson. Chase the volume, guys. Chase the volume. Okay, what's so bad about 20 touches a game? All right, even though they stink and Heineke stinks and Washington's an absolute joke, all right? The Colts just benched Matt Ryan for the year, and they're throwing Ellinger, whatever, however the heck you say his name, to the Wolves. They're just like, you know what, go out there and do it, kid. Here, we'll see what you can do. All right, let's either you're gonna do well, and we get to keep Frank Reich, or you do bad and we can just fire the guy, because that's what we're trying to do, is just sabotage him. So we don't like Frank Reich. So I don't think the Colts do much in this game. I could see Washington winning it, and at the very least, I see it being close enough where Brian Robinson's still heavily involved in the game script. So go with Brian Robinson, all right? He's going to get a ton of work on the ground, 15, 20 touches, and, if he rumbles into the end zone, you're going to, be really, really happy you put him in your lineup. Final guy on the running back side of things, Jamal Williams. You got to start Jamal. Okay, I don't care about all you diehards that held out for, DeAndre Swift. Be like, oh, what do you say? He's come back. Listen, DeAndre Swift is 10-ply. Okay, he's about soft as 10-ply fucking toilet paper. All right, this guy is made of glass. Okay, I love DeAndre Swift. I think he's so talented. The guy can't stay on the field. All right, he's got simultaneous injuries at all times. Who thought one injury is bad enough? No, DeAndre Swift's like, no, I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to have 2 injuries at all times. Okay, so I could see DeAndre being, on a snap count, not, going out there for every single play, and Jamal Williams still getting a solid workload, but also the goal line back, right? I don't think they're just going to run DeAndre into the goal line. I think they're really going to use Jamal as much as they can there when they get down to the red zone and down to the goal line. So Jamal Williams, I think, is a must start in your flex if you're hurting, if you're deciding between people. I think you're going to be really happy with that production. So Jamal. Tight ends. This is where it gets fun. Greg Dulcich, baby, you got to start him. Russell Wilson's doing his calisthenics. Russell Wilson's doing high knees in the airplane. Russell Wilson's making a joke of himself every single chance that he gets in the media. On a side note, this guy is maybe the most hated quarterback in the world right now. People have forgot all about Aaron Rodgers, and his immunization stunt. All right, this is hilarious to me. That how much of a downfall we've seen from Russell Wilson, going from being beloved, being a good quarterback in the league, Mina Kimes a sweetheart, to now just an absolute joke. I think people tune in now on Russ just to hear how he makes an idiot of himself in the media now, which is hilarious. So you got to start Greg Dulcich, though, because it's like the one guy that he's throwing to right now where he doesn't look like an absolute joke throwing the ball to. Can't seem to make use of Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. But Greg Dulcich looks like an absolute hero, when he throws him the ball. And tight end's been just a nightmare this year for so many people. If you drafted Kyle Pitts, if you drafted Gesicki, if you drafted Schultz, my condolences. Really sorry, but Greg Dulcich could be your answer. This guy's been legit the last few weeks. And I could see, with his athleticism and whatnot and how he's involved and how Russ can't seem to throw the ball downfield like he used to, I could see Greg D being involved quite a bit. So start Dulcich. Next guy is Irv Smith. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Not going to go into a bunch of detail on this. Arizona sucks against tight ends. They just can't stop them. So I think that the game script is going to go heavily in Irv Smith's favor on this one, because why wouldn't you play to your opponent's weaknesses here, right? I get you got a guy named Justin Jefferson, I think. He's decent. He's okay. Probably one of the best wide receivers in the world. But He is going to be involved, and Irv Smith is also going to be heavily involved because, like I said, Arizona just can't stop tight ends. So if you got Irv Smith on the wire or he's on your bench for whatever reason, I don't know why you'd be rostering him right now, but go out and get him. He's a really good streaming option for tight end, especially if you got a guy like Kyle Pitts who you just can't trust at this point. And the third guy, and this is just chasing the volume. Again, all three of these guys are likely on the wire, unless you got some really savvy people in your league that are kind of ahead of the curve here. But Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram is going to be heavily involved in this game. He's been getting over 6 targets the last 3 weeks. Jacksonville probably trying to keep the game a little bit simpler for Trevor Lawrence. Doesn't want him airing the ball out a ton, right? Want to keep it simple and using the tight end pretty frequently. The other aspect of this is this. Christian Kirk and Zay Jones are going to be taken to the shadow realm, okay? They're going to be taken. You will never hear from them again, okay, once Surtain's done with them, okay? This guy's a freak. Okay, no one catches balls on Patrick Surtain. He is unbelievably good. So I think that they're going to get Ingram more heavily involved. The matchup is just way better for him than it is for either of those receivers. Okay, so you got to start Evan Ingram this week, especially if you're hurting a tight end. If you got a really good tight end, and actually, I'm going to think of it. This like really applies to a lot of us right now because Kelsey is on the bye. For my Chiefs, let's go. And Mark Andrews just played and got hurt. So, I mean, that's irrelevant because you can't, if you played him, you played him. But tight ends really hurting outside of those top 2 guys. There's, some stability with guys like Hawkinson, but really you just had one big game. And, if you're a Taysom Hill chaser and you just want to, see if he rumbles in for 4 touchdowns again, all the power to you. But more often than not, you're going to have a tough decision at tight end. And I think that these 3 guys, if you really are on the fence here with what your options are currently, I think these 3 guys could be a really good bet for you. So to recap, wide receivers, you want to start Cooks, Mooney, Pickens. You want to start running back Michael Carter, Brian Robinson, Jamal Williams. And at tight end, you want to start Greg D. You want to start Irv Smith, and you want to start Evan Ingram. I think that these guys can really help if you guys are needing a flex play or, just like hurting at any of those positions. These guys could really help. I'm going to do more videos like this. I really love this stuff. I love to help out, with any fantasy advice that I can, kind of, a nut about it. So if you find this guy's helpful, please follow and please, tune in for more videos. Okay, guys. And hopefully week 8 goes a lot better for us, some of us, than week 7 did. Hope everyone stays healthy and let's win some weeks with a couple of these picks here. All right, guys. Talk to you soon.